this really Europe's most expensive airport? Dalaman Airport is the 6th busiest airport in Turkey and is the gateway to several popular Turkish holiday destinations. And when I was researching this airport, as it's a new one for me and I was flying in and out of here for a family holiday, I came across loads of claims that it was the most expensive in Europe. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? Well, let's hear from some very respected members of the public to find out. First, let's go to Gary Miller. I've been to this airport many times, last time in October 2023. The prices have gone through the roof. Half a litre of beer, which is 3/4 of a pint, was £12.50. I'm not paying it. First time we haven't had a drink in an airport. Been on hundreds of holidays, virtually nobody bought anything. Then there's Dennis Robinson as well, we can hear from Dennis, why not? Coffee kiosk by Departure Lounge 36. Bought 3 coffees and a Twix bar costing £26.95. You pay by card, only then you realise what you paid. Then he had the cheek to ask for a tip. Be warned. And then there's Debbie Mann, who is so disgusted she wrote it twice on this website. Just a joke. 1 Starbucks cold coffee, 1 bag of crisps, and 1 cheese and tomato roll. €28.5. Please watch out if you have children with you. It could cost you £100 to feed them at this airport. Disgraceful. And then there's Christopher. And Christopher Bull, he sounds really angry. £10 for 4 bottles of water is disgusting. As for everything else, dirty rip-off. Never will I go back to Turkey again. Ripped off all the time and then given 22 Turkish lira to the pound when the rate is 32 Turkish lira. Absolute rubbish. Wouldn't even give you 1 star. Just pure, greedy bastards. So it's safe to say they think it's pretty pricey. There's also this Daily Mail article, but I think it's in everyone's best interest that we don't read through the comments on that. Christ. Upon arriving into Dalaman Airport, I was initially impressed by the overall design of the airport. It looks incredibly modern and it seems like a pleasant place to be. By the way, today we're flying with EasyJet. Yes, I know again, it's going to trigger Crispy G, but we're flying on EasyJet yet again to London Gatwick. There'll be a tiny bit of that flight featured later in the video. One thing surprising about Dalaman Airport that I noticed straight away is that you are greeted immediately by a pre-check-in security checkpoint. Security is the first thing we're doing here at Dalaman Airport before check-in. Security. I forgot to mention to this point, there are 2 terminals at Dalaman Airport. EasyJet use Terminal 1. All of the airlines in Terminal 1 can be found in pretty much the same area for check-in. Check-in probably took about 20 minutes, which I'd say is pretty normal for a holiday airline out of a holiday destination. Then there was another security checkpoint before we arrived in the duty-free zone, where we're going to start the main bit of this video. How expensive is Dalaman Airport? I'm going to be taking you around Dalaman Airport, starting with duty free and then heading around the entire departures lounge to compare and find out how expensive Dalaman Airport really is, and to see if all of the incredibly triggered people on the airport review website are correct. I'm going to be using ChatGPT to find out how the prices in the airport compare to those online and in the UK, so if they're wrong, please don't blame me. Please blame AI, don't blame me. Right then, in the duty free, time to see, is Dalaman Airport really the most expensive airport in Europe? I've got no idea, to be honest. €69.90 for some...
What even is it?
I don't know, what is that? Chocolates? Got some Turkish delight and stuff, that's €15. €23. Okay, Luke's got some fragrance. How much is the fragrance?
450.
Christ on a bike. Is that a normal price or is that expensive?
Nah, that's crazy. Well, I mean, I guess.
Here we go, the colognes and stuff. I mean, these are always going to be expensive, but they are for sure expensive.
Yeah.
Well, here you've got get any second 50% off. It's a good deal, to be fair, but they are all expensive. Prada candy. Yeah, I don't understand any of this, to be honest. €14.90 for celebrations, £11.50 for a Toblerone. This is happy birthday. £11.90 for a dark Toblerone. Gulliver chocolate, you can get them in co-op, but here they're £19.90, down from £24.90. I don't actually know if this is expensive or not. But the thing is, like, sweets and chocolate are always expensive at airports, so it's hard to judge if they are exceptionally expensive here. £9.90 for Mentos, but it's a big tub. Big bags of Haribo for £6.50. I don't know, that doesn't feel too bad in euros. I don't know, I really don't know.
Now the thing is, duty free is always going to be the same pretty much, right? So, you know, like it's not really worth accessing. However, I've just been told apparently the restaurants here are nuts. So I'm going to look around all the usual restaurants and the unique ones as well, and see what the situation is, see how much things are costing. So let's go find out. $12.90 for a bagel and coffee seems that seems rather expensive. I'm not going to bother looking in the pub because there's a menu here. Let's have a little nosy. Okay, the steak sandwich is €21.
For reference, by the way, for just £10 more than that steak sandwich, you can get a steak sandwich at Harrods, which is meant to be, you know, crazy luxury food and crazy luxury prices in London. £28. For £10 cheaper, you can get one at some average place in Dalaman Airport. Anyway, for better reference, because that was a bit rubbish, it's about £9 in UK, apparently, according to ChatGPT.
I'm starting to see people's point, you know. I'm starting to see people's point about this place. Because duty free, it's always going to be the same. But these individual shops, yeah, mad. Right, let's go to the chain now. Here's McDonald's. Let's see how much things are. Okay, English. Doodaloo. Yeah. Okay, let's go for something easy. Beef meals, Big Mac meal, regular, fries. We'll get ketchup. I'm not going to buy this. I'm just ketchup. Coca-Cola. No add-on. Right, add to order. 849 Turkish lira. Okay. Yeah, that's steep. That is definitely steep.
How much?
That is unbelievable. That is a bad one.
That is daylight f***ing robbery, and I'm a victim. I'm a victim, and I'm a punchline.
It's a disgrace. That's what it is, a disgrace.
£15 for a Big Mac meal definitely feels expensive. This place is expensive. This might be the most expensive airport I've ever been to. I bought some stuff off camera. I'm gonna like go over the price again and like try and rethink it. Let me just check like my bank statement. So, okay, yeah. So I bought 2 key rings for £5.20. A little souvenir for me and my sister. Doesn't seem too bad. Key rings tend to be expensive at airports and at souvenir shops. The Wi-Fi costs $3.50 for 2 hours. Is what it is. You get 30 minutes free, but you need a code. And I bought a Coke Zero, 450 millilitres, which is what, 50 millilitres smaller than your average one in the UK, and that cost £4.81. Ay ay ay. Okay. €7.90 for a bag of Doritos. Bag of crisps, also $7.90. Jesus. I just saw a Pepsi Max in the fridge, right? And Pepsi Max is my favourite drink. I'm probably addicted to it. Haven't had one all holiday because the resort we stayed at was all Coca-Cola. I thought, you know what? I might buy it. €5. I think I'd hate myself for the rest of the day if I did that. I already bought a drink earlier and I probably buy on the plane as well. Back there was some M&Ms on the stand. The smaller bag was $10.90 and the bigger bag was $15.10. Fancy a Twister Ice lolly, one of the small ones by the way, but you know, Twister Ice lolly to cool off, €5. Fancy a Cornetto, $7.20. More expensive stuff to report on. Remember Prime? Yeah? Remember that drink? Do you remember that drink? Just about remember it? Luke, do you remember Prime? The drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, €14 back there. Whoa, Jesus, whoa! Christ! That was the double hit, wasn't it? Jesus, I almost just stacked it.
It's time to leave Dalaman, more specifically on this EasyJet Airbus A320, registration Golf Echo Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, 16.1 years old, originally delivered to Air Berlin in August 2009, before transferring to Welling in March 2012, then back to Air Berlin in March 2017, then to EasyJet Europe in January 2018, before becoming an EasyJet UK aircraft in June 2023. The aircraft has had 4 different registrations in its time. Board, row 4, A, B, C.
It's an old cabin. It's nice enough. It's just an EasyJet plane with an old cabin. You can't really say much more than that. We'll do for the, I was about to say short flight, but this flight could be 4 hours, so it's not that short really, is it? But
It's time to depart that ridiculously expensive airport. Do you know what is not ridiculously expensive though, and in fact completely free? Subscribing to the Joel Travelino YouTube channel. If you click the red button down below, you're signing yourself up to never miss an upload, and you are showing your support for the channel in the best possible way. Your support never goes unnoticed, and it means the world for me. So if you're enjoying the video, why not hit the like button first, and then hit that big red subscribe button. For now though, it's time to depart out of Dalaman and head back to London Gatwick. There's going to be barely any in-flight footage of this flight as the main focus of the video was on the airport, but if you want to watch an EasyJet review, I've got so many of those for you to choose from in the trip report section of my YouTube channel.
one time I flew EasyJet, and Maya had the worst toasty of all time. So she's got one too, and we're going to see how was it this time. Lovely jubbly. I don't think I've ever seen chips on a plane be ordered before. How are they, Luke?
Not good.
No? What a shame.
So
They're just not though, are they?
they're gluten free.
That's good then.
They've got a real crunch to them.
Even though the flight is taking up such a small proportion of this video, it took up such a bloody large proportion of my life. Christ, this flight was 4 hours and 20 minutes, man. 4 hours and 20 minutes. On an EasyJet A320 that's 16 years old. What did I do to deserve this? And with us making it back to London Gatwick, that marks the end of today's video, and it leaves one more question to be finally answered. We've got all the proof, we've got all of the evidence, we've collected loads of prices. It's time to find out, is Dalaman Europe's most expensive airport? No idea. I've got no idea. I haven't flown out of every airport in Europe, so how would I bloody know? It's fucking expensive though.